Hello again, THFC. This morning I want to talk briefly about Ange Postecoglou and what a superb managerial career he had at Nottingham Forest. Wow. What is it? 39 days, 8 games, 2 draws, no wins. Now, in this day and age of football, is that acceptable for a manager to not win in 8 games? I think it's a bit harsh. Reason being, it's not like it was 8 Premier League games. It was, I think, 5 Premier League games and 1 Cup game and 2 Europa League games, which I think one of the Europa League games was a loss, one was a draw, and I think he had a draw in the Premier League as well, and 4 losses. But does the media need to take some of the responsibility of Ange Postecoglou being sacked? Because I genuinely believe that the media and the tabloids and all the people that deliver information regarding football has something to do with this. I think they put a lot of pressure on Nottingham Forest and Ange Postecoglou because of what happened at Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? Because 75% of it was just negative news. Negative, oh, he said this, he said that, he said I'll always win. If they stick with me, I'm going to win a trophy. And the media, the guys don't like this because it means he is an assertive person who believes in what he says. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I think maybe 2 or 3 of those games they should have won. Like going back to the game yesterday against Chelsea. First half, Palace should have went in at least 2-0 up. Remember, not one of those players is his players. And they should have went in 2-0 up against Chelsea. That could have been a different game. And they've had a handful of games like that this season. I think Newcastle was one of those games as well. I think Burnley was one of those games as well. I think who they played, was it Van Persie's team in the Europa? Was one of those games as well where they should have won by half time. Like imagine, out of 8 games, he set the team up to have 60 shots on target and only 1 of those have been goals. Now, is that the manager or is that the strike force? He hasn't been able to use their top scorer last season, who was Chris Wood. Yeah? Gibbs White is not the Gibbs White of last season or the season before because of what's happened through the summer. And then Ange has been slapped out. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't give a shit because he's not Tottenham's manager no more, so I don't give a shit what happens. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it's a bit mad in this day and age. After 8 games, a man just gets kicked out like that. Do you know what I mean? He might not even get compensated because he hasn't even been in the job longer than a month. I don't think managers have probational periods, but if they do, then he ain't getting a payout. But I suppose that's part of the game, innit? And football's based on results. And if you don't get the results, you end up in problems like what Ange Postecoglou is in. But my advice to Ange would be, go to one of the European countries, what's a slightly lower league than the best league, or go to the Championship, get a team, build it and come up with that team, then surely you shouldn't be sacked. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. Is Ange Postecoglou's days numbered in the Premier League? Is he just a Championship manager? Is he just a cup manager? Or is he just a manager who's just been very, very lucky and got the results at the time when he needed them? I don't know. But leave it in the comments and let me know. But as always, come on you Spurs. Let's get the points against Villa today. And have a good weekend, hopefully.